Hello, everyone. We are very happy to have you here today. And we are going to start our session looking ahead policy agenda and priorities with our special guests today and presenters, Pasquale Di Rubio and Cinzia Tegoni, who are policy analysts in DG Agri.
Thanks a lot. So if we go to the next slide, just to recall a bit, the Farm to Fork is one of the key initiatives of the European Green Deal, through which we aim to become the first carbon neutral continent in 2050. If we go to the next slide, the Farm to Fork strategy builds on 4 major goals. The first one is to reduce the environmental and climate footprint of the food system, to preserve our natural resources and biodiversity. But certainly this cannot be done in isolation from the rest of the world. And as a major objective of the strategy is also to ensure that Europe will lead a global transition towards more sustainable and competitive food systems. At the same time, there are other 2 major important objectives, if we stay a bit on the previous slides. One is to ensure that there are new opportunities from this transition to more sustainable food systems. We often see this transition as cost, but we are also keen to ensure that there are new opportunities for operators and for everyone in this transition, that no one is left behind. And lastly, what we have seen from COVID-19 is extremely important to preserve the resilience of our food systems, to make sure that everyone will be access to high quality food at an affordable price. If we go to the next slide, I think here we can see the novelty of the strategy of the Farm to Fork, that is really an integrated approach. I mean, everyone can play a role in this transition. The food business operators, from primary processors till retailers, consumers, but also all the actors which are indirectly playing a role on food sustainability, like financial institute, knowledge providers, research, advisory services. And also, given the complexity of food systems we have in Europe and worldwide, and also the different levels of governance that can play a role in this transition, the strategy is proposing regulatory but also non-regulatory initiatives. So there are soft tools as well that can play a big added value in the transition. If we go to the next slide, we can briefly present here 4 major targets that the Farm to Fork has set up by 2030. For the reduction of pesticides, nutrient losses, and antimicrobials. But certainly one important target also for the Strength2Food project is the one on organic, which we aim at least to achieve 25% of the European agricultural land under organic farming, and have also a significant increase in organic aquaculture. If we go to the next slide, we propose to start with one important initiative of the Farm to Fork, which is really overarching, and that for the first time we are bringing together all the actors, all the sectors of the food systems under one framework law. And this framework law will be presented by the European Commission in 2023. There will be key principles, common definitions, and requirements about food sustainability, but also responsibilities for all actors of the food systems, not only private, but also public authorities at all levels. This will help to ensure coherence across the different food-related policies, but also to mainstream sustainability at different levels of our policy initiatives. Last important element is also the provisions on governance, collective involvement of stakeholders. The idea is really to ensure a participatory approach where stakeholders can play an important role. If we go to the next slide, I think we have heard a very interesting result about your project on procurement. And we aim to have also some minimum mandatory criteria for sustainable food procurement under the framework law, to promote really healthy and sustainable diets also in institutional catering. These criteria should really enable cities, regions, and authorities at all levels to play a key contribution towards a more sustainable food system. This procurement here should be seen, if we stay 1 second on this slide, should be seen together with another two important initiatives. One on the labeling of sustainable food, that is also part of this framework law, and also the code of conduct on responsible business and marketing practices that are currently being developed with the European stakeholders and should be finalized really in the next few weeks. If we go to the next slide, here also another important program that is a successful initiative of the European Union is the school scheme. And here the revision will start really soon and is expected to be finalized by 2023. And here, this is a scheme that is helping member states and schools to provide fruit, vegetable, milk, and milk products to school children, and also help to develop educational material to really promote healthy eating habits. Also, this revision will aim to make a contribution to sustainable consumption. And you can see that there is an important budget behind, so around 220 million euros per school year. So we can really achieve a lot also through this important initiative. If we go to the next slide, we have heard also a lot of interesting results that are feeding into the ongoing impact assessment of the European Commission on Geographical Indications, thanks to the work you have carried out in the framework of the Strength2Food project. The idea of the revision is really to enforce and to strengthen the role that geographical indications can play to promote more uptake by farmers, by producers, and certainly to improve the protection and enforcement of the legal framework. We have heard this morning that GI's products, many of them have a lot of sustainability aspect already embedded in the specificities of those products. So we want to valorize the sustainability criteria even more with the revision of the geographical indications. We want to facilitate also the procedures for the management of these geographical indications, the registrations, but certainly we want to give more power to producers to play a key role on sustainability also in the framework of the GIs. So you can imagine one example could be to require compliance with the natural resources, to respect local varieties of plants, species, animal breeds, animal welfare standards. So these are all elements that are currently being assessed as part of the impact assessment. If we go to the next slide on promotion program, here you might be aware that the European Union is helping operators, member states, stakeholders to market agri-food products on the European market, but also worldwide, and GIs are playing a key role in these promotion programs. So also these are currently being reviewed, and the revision is expected to be finalized by early 2022. With the aim to really help the shift to more plant-based diets, so to promote fruit and vegetables in our diets, but on the same time also to promote more responsible livestock practices. So to look really at the problem on a more holistic approach. And it's important to mention that while we revise the promotion programs, the 2021 work program that you can find online is already tackling many of these aspects that we are presenting to you today. So we are already anticipating the priorities of the farm to fork in our ongoing program. And there is a public consultation open till 23rd of June, and we invite you also to take a look and to express your views on that respect. So I think I give the floor to my colleague Cinzia for the rest of the presentation. Thank you.
So we continue. I would like to welcome all participants and praise the organizer for this wonderful conference. Thank you and for having us here. And so we go to the next slide. I will be glad to take you on the action that interlink Farm to Fork with our CAP new reform. As you know, we are under the process of negotiation with the co-legislator. So we are going to present here some key aspects that they are not, of course, finalized, but that we can share with you. As you know, the new reform has been issued before the Green Deal target. Nonetheless, from the analysis and documents you can already find online, there are many links with the Green Deal targets. And the CAP reform seems to be fit for the purpose under the Green Deal and the Farm to Fork strategy. One key element of this reform is to provide flexibility to member states. This flexibility means that any member state, considering their specificity, can adapt an intervention strategy, which is composed of the different measures and toolkit that we have in the CAP. One of the already link between the Farm to Fork strategy and the CAP reform are these recommendations. The European Union delivered on the 18th of December a set of recommendations by analyzing available data for each one of the member states, which underlined specific points on their agricultural value chain, on the 9 specific CAP objectives, to say, just to pass a message and to say, okay, we know that you are doing very well in certain area, you could do better in others. And just as the document were also negotiated with member states. To the next slide. And in particular, relevant for this project is the CAP objective number 3, which would like to enhance the farmer position on the value chain. As you know, agriculture is characterized by we often see some stagnant and some low value for farmers. And we would like to exploit today new and innovative emergent trends in the supply chain, like you have underlined in the previous sessions. And we would like to make sure that the farmer can leverage on the quality of their product and also sustainability of the product. With this aim, we have foreseen a number of tools which are measure type of operation in the jargon of the Commission that can support those farmers. And these are advisory services and knowledge transfer, the sharing of European experiences through the European Innovation Partnership, the strengthening of the operational group, but also to support a farmer in entering the quality scheme, like it was demanded today, to facilitate the cooperation and promote further the quality scheme, and they will receive support under financial instruments. These are a new element introduced with the past the current CAP, which proved to work quite well. And then also the promotion of quality product and such also as organic and sustainable product. We can go to the next slide.
Sorry, Cinzia, can we stop here with the presentation, because we are getting really a lot of questions. So maybe to answer to some of them. So
okay.
Maybe just like to have a couple of minutes to address the questions that we've already received. Okay, thank you. We are firstly, there is the question coming from Carmen. She's thanking to Pasquale, and she says, given that the EU aims to take the lead in sustainable food systems at the global level, how this can be achieved when the EU CAP is so protectionist? How the EU will ensure that millions of poor farmers around the world will be included in this global sustainable food system? And she hopes that she didn't miss your point.
Well, Just one thing, on the farmer around the world, we will have a specific slide at the end. So this question can wait to the end.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Then Angelo asked us, does the panel think that commitment to carbon reduction or neutrality should be embedded explicitly in the definition and the word of GIs? Carbon reduction? Yeah.
Yeah, and then there is another one on Nutri-Score and so on. On GIs, of course, the reflection is open, and we have not yet concluded the impact assessment, and certainly we are exploring all possible avenues to make sure that really there is a clear contribution of GI to the sustainability agenda. We have seen already that they play an important role for farmers, for consumers, and certainly we want to build on this positive experience. Whether there should be a clear link to the carbon reduction, this is also part of the reflection when I mentioned about the sustainability criteria, to valorize more the sustainability aspect in the GI's specifications. In that respect, there is a reflection ongoing that I think also you are providing a useful result and information from the Strength2Food project that will be also taken into account during our impact assessment and ongoing work. So at this stage, I think we don't preclude anything. Concerning the Nutri-Score, we are aware of this discussion. The Commission is currently working on a labeling scheme on the front of pack labeling to harmonize the nutritional aspect of products. So there is an impact assessment ongoing. We are far from the final step of the impact assessment. So at this stage, all the options are on the table. Like Nutri-Score, but also all other options that member states have in place, and even more. So we should not really focus now to say that there is this Nutri-Score that will be the way forward, because this is not yet the case, and we are assessing really all possible benefit, and also considering the impact on the internal market, on the benefit and cost. So we are really in a kind of stage that we are exploring all possible tools to make sure that consumers finally can make informed choice about the product, and that can also have healthy diets and sustainable products on their table. So I would say that for the moment the discussion is still open, and we are far from deciding whether Nutri-Score or another one should be the way forward. And certainly GIs play an important role and will continue to play an important role when also comes to local specificities. The cultural and traditional of our food in Europe will be a key element that we want to preserve. And in that respect, we have to find the right approach to balance all possible options, including healthy diets, which is a key objective of the Farm to Fork, for sure. I don't know, Cinzia, if you want to complement on these 2 points.
No, I think that we should all bear in mind that the Farm to Fork is a comprehensive strategy, so we will work under that for all the mentioned initiative. So the sustainability has 3 components so far, and we will act under these 3 components, which are equally important.
Thank you for the answers.
We go back to our common agricultural policy for the future period. And in this regard, and with specifically for the sustainability elements, we are proposing to promote organic agriculture. As you know, the target is quite ambitious, the 25% of the utilized agricultural area. And we have planned to act on a double way. So we will incentivize with eco scheme, with agro-environmental climatic measure, with advisory service, and through the promotion of EU quality schemes, the production and the promotion of these products. But on the other hand, and this is another result, an activity already achieved of the Farm to Fork, we have launched in March the action plan for the organic sector 2021-2026, which is organized around three axes: to boost consumption, to increase the production again, and to improve further the sustainability of the sector. And 23 action, which span over the member states developing their organic action plan, but also the protection from frauds and the relation with the other member states, also outside the EU, to protect our products, but also to help farmers across the world through organic to sell quality product within the EU. So we enter here in what was and I try to answer the question of the participants that we received. So we are willing to promote a global transition. We would like to pave the way, also lead the way, and to do that, we are acting to support the other country in transition. So currently, we have been spoken with all our delegation, and there are bilateral talks, and these we are discussing around food system and how to develop further food system, protecting the farmers and supporting their development. And this is a chapter that is going to be introduced also in a bilateral trade agreement. So there won't be new trade agreements, but there will be some discussion on the existing one to enhance the sustainability and to promote healthier and sustainable diet. And we will also work with to strengthen the international standard setting bodies, not only by means of enforcement, but also by education. So exchange between those authorities, training, and again, establishing fruitful relation. We are also promoting this scheme and our idea, a vision for a future sustainable and healthy and fair food system into international fora, like in the Expo in Dubai or the upcoming UN Food System Summit. And of course, the environmental aspect will be key in assessing the request for imports. So, and this is also another element that we would like to share with you, that European consumers are already in the place where they receive a lot of support, and our food is very safe. But we are planning to achieve a little bit, could go a step further, and especially on sustainability and environment. And we go to the last slide, which can be quite interesting for you. And it's about research and innovation. As you know, we will not be able to achieve this transition without embracing the complexity and the new technologies, but also social innovation. So all these aspects should be supported. And you have under the current call, under the current Horizon 2020, there was a call dedicated on Green Deal. This has been launched, and projects have been selected and will start in autumn this year. And in the pipeline, now we have the 9 billion dedicated widely, not only to farm to fork, but also to bioeconomy and that element that are under finalization and will be soon launched. We also have granted support under both Rural Development Fund and the Agricultural Fund for this knowledge AKIS, what we know, support, so for the knowledge sharing and to spread the innovation around. Then another element that we believe is key is to ensure that all the citizens, especially in rural areas, have access to broadband internet. It was already supported under the current CAP, but it will be strengthened in the next period. We want to achieve the 100% coverage. And then there is the Investment EU Fund, which will support especially investment for small medium enterprises. And last, I would like to express some of the gaps we also have identified, which can be useful for your community, and to advance the knowledge on our food system. So we are very glad to have seen also today that currently there are research on the sustainability of value chains. What we all know is that we have data gap and also few researches and on their footprint and on the life cycle assessment of this food system. Of course, we all also have to acknowledge that the market is quite diversified, and we are going through a customization of our food, and that food represents more and more identity. And that's why we would like to explore innovative solution that can be digital, nature-based, or social. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. It was wonderful. Also for you, Pasquale, engagement. And now I would like to give a word to Barbara.
So thank you so much, Jelena, for sharing this very interesting session. And thank you, obviously, so much again to Cinzia and Pasquale from DG Agri for your interesting insights and your engagement. It's really a pleasure to have had you here. So this is really the final wrap-up sessions. So I've been asked to keep it sweet and short. And for those of you who know me, it'll be a little bit emotional. I'll have the pleasure to put the last digital footprint on the Strength2Food final conference. So first of all, we hope that today's program has been interesting and inspiring for all of you. I can see here we have 535 registered attendees. This is really a great achievement and really a remarkable number. I can see obviously the live attendees are a bit less, but that doesn't matter. So a big thank you to all of our speakers. We had 48 speakers across various sessions, and all of you to our great attendees who joined us today, who kept the engagement high, and for your enthusiasm. So obviously feel free to get in touch if you want to be put in contact with the other speakers and our partners and just go to connect socially. So also a big announcement, we have just launched the Strength2Food MOOC. This is a massive open online course, great milestones on sustainable food choices, key lessons from quality schemes and public procurement and food supply chains. This is now live. It can be found on our website and it's open to registrations. So check it out on our website and feel free to promote it. And lastly, as you will have learned, our Strength2Food project is coming to an end with a final countdown marking 10 days to go. Okay, starting the tears already. As a project manager, I feel very, very honored and humbled for everything that we have achieved. Today, it's been quite emotional. It's been 5 years and 3 months and really a long time. So really an enriching journey. So I just wanted to pass a last round of thank you and acknowledgements. First of all, to our great coordinator, Professor Matthew Gorton. Thank you for everything. And obviously, Filippo Arfini, Steve Quarry, you've been the mind and the heart behind this project since its inception and until the very last days. Okay, 1 second. To all our work package leaders, task leaders on both paper and practice for taking the lead despite various data challenges, fieldwork, issues, and everything. Thank you to all our great partners for all the hard work, stimulating discussions, collaborations, and especially friendships along the way. Our fantastic stakeholder advisory board for guiding the strategic direction of our project and all the insights, and our project officer, Dr. Alessandro Chiodini, you provided us with invaluable support throughout the implementation of the project. A special thank you, of course, to Carlos. Carlos Abundancia has been our communication and dissemination guru, who helped us maximize the visibility and outreach of our project. He organized, he's the mind behind this brilliant event, his spotless attention to detail, always keeping a smile and a calm attitude throughout. And obviously to our heroes team, our logistics team, Giulia, Elena, Roberta, and Annalisa for looking after various logistics on the day, despite various issues, who have ensured a smooth running of the conference. And thank you also to our Newcastle team for all of those working in administration and on the operational side who have ensured a smooth coordination. So we wish you all a very, very good day. Arrivederci.